Today is Wednesday, December 9th, 2020. This is the Kubernetes CSI implementation meeting. We'll go through our usual agenda of release items. First is Kubernetes 119. It looks like all of the leftover documentation has been complete. Thank you very much for that. The only thing left is figuring out fixing the CSI proxy image build. Believe Jing is working with the test infra work group to figure out the credentials issue that we have. So that's still in progress, but I think other than that, we've pretty much wrapped up for 119. Moving on to 120. It looks like 120 in Kubernetes was released yesterday. So I guess now we should work on preparing all the sidecars for releasing. In terms of outstanding items, we're still waiting on in the sidecars. There's this read-only change in the external provisioner. I have not heard back from Humble, if he's able to work on this. So I guess I'm going to just put this under, this might just be punted to the next release. Next is the deployment without central controller.
Yeah, the PR is ready. I also implemented storage capacity creation in that mode. That's a new commit that I added today. As far as I'm concerned, that's ready. It just needs to be reviewed. I think you wanted to ping Cheng whether he has time to review, but has that happened? You know whether he's available?
I'll go ahead and do that. All right, thank you. Next up is updating all our sidecars to klog v2 and the new version of CSI libutils. I think we pretty much covered all the repos except for the Windows related ones. I will have to follow up with Deep and Jing on the status of those. And then we have snapshots.
Yes, I think Shanchen has some comments on that PR, update controller PR, so I addressed them. I pinned him to review that again. Hopefully we can get that merged soon. Then I can submit the PR to update the version to v4, client version v4. And there's a bug fix. I think Shanchen reviewed it. I think he pinned you to review it. I'll send that one to you. Basically, this is it's a very small change, but it could potentially have some big impact. Somebody opened a bug on that. So what they observed is like after snapshot is created, it's already, the ready to use is already true. But then because we are, doing those synchronization, right? So, and then after they deleted the volume snapshot class, like we didn't update since that's not found. We were trying to log an event, but in that log event, we actually always set the ready to use to false. And then so that ready to use become false, which is not right. I think this has been there probably since the controller split. So the fix that I change is just like one line. I basically, if we are just doing this type of event, then just don't even change the ready to use status. Ready to use status should only be updated based on the status of the content, because in content, we're not going to change that anymore after that is, after it becomes true. And then the ready to use in the snapshot will be updated based on the ready to use in the content. So if we don't touching that again when we are just logging an event for whatever that is, then that should be fine. But I think Shannon has some concern. Basically, that means every time, I think we already mentioned that every time you check for ready to use, that's not enough. You also need to verify the binding. but he was thinking it's like we are kind of making this more important now if we are just, I don't know, did you follow me?
I guess I kind of follow you. I guess the question is do we when we set ready to use to true, does that guarantee the binding has already happened?
No, it does not. So, but I think there are some places when we are checking, we probably also check the binding as well. But I think that's actually not accurate because it should only be based on this whether the snapshot is really ready or not. So one alternative I'm thinking is just to not to make this such a big impact is when we log that event, we pass in a flag. So like we know in the places we know that, for example, this places it's just checking the storage the snapshot class. We know that this is before the snapshot is provisioned when you do this check. After that, there's no need to check that anymore. So we know that in this case we should not touch the ready to use. But in other cases, we still keep the original behavior. Just we need to examine each.
I think that
place.
sounds reasonable.
Okay. Yeah,
I think basically if like I think if we follow like don't set like until something has been properly bound, I guess don't set any of the status fields except for maybe the error one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, I think what happens right now is that this event is used in many places, right? Whenever we got an error in all the places we just set it, so I think that's the problem, right? So I think it's probably just. I will just look at all the places that we're using this. I think then we pass in this flag at least. So the smallest change would be only at this one particular place where we found this bug. We don't reset. And then all the other places, we just keep the original behavior, unless if I will take a look and see if there's other places that we.
I guess, I guess my thought is if we have the logic where we don't copy over the fields, the status fields, only after, or if we copy over the status fields only after it has been bound, then anywhere where we're setting these events, we can just safely, just reuse the same object without having to also set status fields. Does that make sense? Like setting the event, should only set the event. It shouldn't
should not change
set
status.
other fields.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I think it's just, I think there are some places we are actually, I know I actually probably need to double check, but I believe there are some places we are actually checking. I think the first time we are making that flag to true, we're actually checking all the other conditions as well. I think there's a place. So that's why I think Xianqian was saying this is probably okay, but he was just thinking it's kind of just making this more important for people to have to double check the binding, bidirectional binding. Yeah. I will take another look, just see if we actually should narrow down this, just to pass in this, add an extra parameter. Otherwise, I think it's probably the right way to do actually. When you update, just log an event, it should really not change anything else. But because when we are logging event, we are also actually changing the status. In status, we actually have a error message. That was why I think that field.
Yeah, I think, setting the error message is fine. I think.
But don't change the real
that's
status.
like the one, I think the error message is like the one exception to like the fields that we should change.
Okay, I think that makes sense. Yeah, if that's the case, then this should just be okay. I will just go over that once more. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
But that probably you also should take a look. So let me actually just go over that once more and see. And then if I think it's okay, I'll ping you.
Okay.
Because Xiangqian otherwise he's not going to merge it with one you or.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So other than that, I guess the next piece is updating all the other dependencies in the sidecars, and we'll have to kind of do that sidecar by sidecar. So I guess we need to track everything here. Oops. Let's start listing all these. Do we need to update libutils again?
No, I think libutils is up to date.
It's already
Okay.
120. It can be, right?
Like the client go and stuff like that.
Yeah, libuto is already 120. That was just yesterday. Are you sure?
No, I mean, oh, okay, you mean before we need to update CSI
Yeah,
libutils?
update
No, I
everything to
don't.
1.20.
No, that's irrelevant. You don't need to update the library. No, we don't.
But we won't be consistent, right? If we update it, we just update everything.
The relevant part where you need to specify a minimal version is in the binaries. And then the binaries are getting built with CSI lib or with the latest client Go. It's irrelevant in that case what's specified in CSI libutils. I thought the question was whether we also need to update CSI libutils again in those sidecars. I think that was my answer. That dependency of a sidecars should be up to date now.
I guess the question is if we're changing, say, like the gRPC version and the client Go version, do we need to change that?
No, we only need to change it in the repositories that actually build binaries, because that's what we release. Doing it in the library is not that important. It would just ensure that users of the library automatically also use that version. Although,
or just for consistency, right? Otherwise, you have like some place you're using older ones, some place
we can update it. It doesn't affect the outcome. That's
I know. Even like I don't think this is even required, like to update everything to 1.20. It's not like because there are like known bugs. It's just I think it's probably better since
but it's better because you also don't know whether there are bugs.
Yeah.
So it's basically playing it safe and assuming that all of these updates have happened because of some kind of updates that may or may not be relevant. That's why we are doing this exercise.
Right. So probably those libraries should also be updated. I mean, what's?
But we are not delivering binaries with them.
I think we have, okay. I thought we have some dependencies there as well. Do we? Some dependencies to Kubernetes. I thought if we do.
Yeah, we do, but that's only relevant during unit testing. The criteria that what we are releasing in terms of things that we are responsible for security reasons, that's the sidecars. There it matters what was used at build time, because people are running that in their clusters. What version of client Go we are using when doing unit tests in CSI libutils in our CI system is a lot less important in my opinion.
Yeah, not just consistency purpose. Just since you are changing, you might not change everything. Yeah, this is the CSI libutils. We can.
I
just think it's better. I mean, yeah, it's not required, but better, I think. Otherwise, I mean, I just don't know why we want to have different versions everywhere.
I guess it means so that we have to cut a new CSI libutils and update it in all the sidecars again, that we just went through that exercise.
It's painful, that's true. Yeah, every time is.
So we can put it at the bottom of the list and not make it a blocker, and we don't even need to do a full release. We just update it so that it's ready the next time we do a release.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's fine.
All right. Sounds good. So I think I'm just gonna, since this is gonna require per sidecar work, and we're gonna have to do some more per sidecar work anyway to prepare releasing it, I'm just gonna sort of bundle this under the releasing sidecar activity that we'll need to do. So let's go ahead and divide up the sidecars amongst a bunch of people. I guess we can go with our standard usual suspects that have been releasing in the past. Jawei has graciously offered to take over Node driver registrar and liveness probe. Thank you very much. Xing, is there going to be a release of external health monitor?
So we still have some pending changes, so we'll see.
Okay.
We'll try, yeah. We probably should.
I guess maybe I'll put.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just. I think the changes we're waiting actually is on the driver, CSI driver. That's the one that is pending. But I'll see. Yeah, I'll see if we can. There was something that we actually should release. There were some changes for the RBAC rules. We actually need to cut a new release for that. So maybe we should do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take another look.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see. Patrick, would you be able to help with CSI test and host path?
Okay.
Cool, thank you. All right, I think we're all covered here. All right. Anything else related to 120? All right, let's go back to our agenda here. Looks like we have this PR open to fix some build issues.
Yeah, I was looking at the dashboard for Cloud Image Build, and I saw that the snapshotter repo sometimes fails, sometimes works, and it's actually a timeout because that repo builds 3 images instead of 1, like in many other of our repositories, and it really takes almost 30 minutes, which is the timeout.
Is it because the number of images?
Yeah, number of binaries and number of images. Yeah,
okay.
It's just doing more work, and we have only one timeout, which is in the shared cloud build YAML file from CSI libutils.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no. Where is it actually? Yeah, it's in CSI release tools. So we need to get that merged and get at least the external snapshotter updated with that updated CSI libutils. CSI release tools. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Next is default resync period.
So I added those. I noticed that snapshotter set it to like 1 minute, which is too short. The rest of them are like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So I think provisioner has it at 15 minutes. Is that the preferred? I think definitely we need to bump it up for the snapshotter. I was just thinking it's 10 or 15.
I think it's pretty arbitrary.
Okay.
I've been told that ideally it should be so high that it never triggers.
Yeah. Okay. So I think the historical reasons that I assume snapshot controller is 1 minute because it was copying it from PV controller, which is 1 minute. But the historical reason is that there used to be, I think, bugs in the informer such that you might miss events the
Oh,
informer might miss events. And so this 1 minute was sort of a hack to just retry and look at everything every 1 minute to make sure we didn't miss anything.
okay.
And it's actually, the 1 minute is actually kind of problematic for scalability, because the PV controller, if you have a ton of PVs, a couple thousand PVs in your system, every minute the PV controller is going to go process all those couple
Yeah.
thousand PVs, and it really slows down the
Yeah.
controller, because it has to process couple thousand PVs and do nothing basically. So I think, I think there's also some flows in the PV controller that actually depend on resync to happen.
Okay.
I opened up a bug about this. There's some sequence where PV controller actually relies on a resync to happen to like move forward some state, which is not great. But I think with these sidecars we have, I think we've written them differently. Like we've sort of learned from PV controllers, so I think we've written these sidecars differently such that we don't have these issues anymore.
That's what I think. So probably I will just bump it to 15 minutes then.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right then. Okay. And then the other one is so I don't know if you still remember this Go CSI thing. You do. Okay.
I vaguely remember this.
I think we recommended people don't use this, right? Long time ago. So I actually searched the Kubernetes CSI. I don't think anyone CSI. Maybe I missed it. Oh, you didn't paste that. Yeah. So our driver still uses it. We are actually, but right now, they actually don't want to maintain this anymore. So we are actually trying to get rid of the dependency. But then, so in the future, it's not going to be here anymore. I just want to know if there was actually an issue. It's someone from working on the Azure driver. Actually, they are doing something with this. They opened the bug. So apparently there are still some drivers using this, but I checked everything under Kubernetes CSI. I don't see any reference of this anymore.
We don't depend on this in Kubernetes CSI, although I think some of the READMEs still reference this CSC tool.
Okay, I'll go over that. I thought, okay. Oh, maybe I only checked the Go mod. I checked the Go mod. I didn't see those.
Yeah. Definitely, we don't import it as a code dependency, but I think in some of the READMEs, we might say
they probably just try to
use CSC for some quick testing or something like that.
Okay, so we probably need to get rid of those. Okay. Sure. Yeah, maybe that's what the Azure is trying to do, because I don't see that's in the Go mod. It's probably just they're trying to use the CLI for something. Yeah. All right then. Do we need to do anything else other than just remove it quietly?
I guess we should look at the wherever we reference CSC and remove it. We don't really have a replacement. We don't have a command line.
I'm just saying, I mean, for the CSI drivers that are using it, we don't really know, because they are like all over the place, right? So we don't really know who are using this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will just check whatever is under Kubernetes dash CSI, and then get rid of it if it's still there. Otherwise, yeah. So they will just find out probably by surprise, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is like a long time ago. We said don't use this. Yeah, I remember even like my previous project, they said, oh, this is nice, let's use this. I said, no, we're not recommending this anymore.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, if someone wants to, like, if it has been useful, like, and folks are willing to put in the time to maintain it, we can potentially host something similar in our own repos.
Yeah, is that something that you want to consider? Because I thought that probably you don't want it, because this was like we recommend we're not use this a long time ago. You want to host something exactly like this, like clone it and maintaining it, or are you thinking about something else? Then if
No,
something else, then,
I'm not thinking about cloning it, but like if there were some ideas in here that were useful to drivers, I guess it would be useful to understand why drivers think this is helpful and what
I
they're
think that
using
was
it
like
for.
probably an easy start, probably if they don't have. But I think there are so many examples now. I just don't, in the beginning, maybe
Mhm.
very beginning. But now there are so many drivers are written without
Mhm.
this. I just don't think,
Yeah.
because our driver was written by that same team. So that's initially. So that's why there was a
Mhm.
dependent on that. But yeah, I don't see, I think we can, but we
Yeah.
also need to spend some time to get rid of
Sounds
this.
good. I think the only thing that I mean I haven't looked at this really deeply, but I think one thing that looks useful is the command line client potentially.
Okay.
But I also don't know if like say gRPC could probably have like generated command line clients given a proto
This is
that
based on that actually. So I think the thing is that we need to find someone who is willing to maintain this, then
yeah,
it would be good, right? So we could
yeah.
maybe, should we bring this up at maybe at the 6 meeting just to see if there are any driver maintainers that still using this, they want to somehow maintain this, or they want to like provide something similar and have that hosted under. But then I just feel it's a little weak. I mean, what do we
Yeah.
have to do?
I guess it's fine. I think like the project can, deprecate and archive itself, and then if people really want it, we can let them come to the SIG and ask about it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because like the main
Yeah.
thing is this is a SIG sponsored project, so
No, yeah, that's why I don't know, like if we want to say, because if we don't want people to clone it, ask them to write something, like we don't really have any clear instructions, right? So it's like kind of a hard, and this is not going to be staying there forever, right?
mhm.
So it's probably
Yeah,
going to
that
disappear
makes
in some
sense.
time. So okay, so your suggestion is just we just go through ours, making sure that we don't have any references, and then just leave it to whoever is using it to decide what to do. Is that the suggestion?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best.
Okay.
Like, come to us, to come to the SIG and say, hey, like this was really useful, and would the SIG be interested in, sponsoring a similar project or something like that? Then
Oh,
then we can
sorry.
consider
I'm
it.
supposed to be in another meeting. I just got pinned.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Any other quick topics?